Pretty dark and spooky out. It's just getting really dark. Maybe dark enough for me to finally grave rye. Hey, how's it going? Introduce Leon here from Rewind Video, and happy October, everybody. Hope everybody's having an awesome spooky season. I know I am. And for those who know me knows I love anything that is horror. I love making horror movies, I love watching horror movies, and I love playing horror video games. Now, it's one thing where you get to watch a movie and you see these people get in weird, horrific predicaments, but it's another where you actually get to be in that situation, play a character, and try to use your wits to try to get away from some nightmarish situation. I love horror video games. From Fatal Frame, Resident Evil, Haunting Ground, which is one of my favorites. I love them all. Now, it's no surprise that one of my favorite movies is the Blair Witch project. I adore that film, and it's become one of my inspirations from my other horror short movies. If you haven't seen any of them, check them out. So it was no surprise that I was so excited that I found out that they made a video game of the Blair Witch, and that they actually released a Switch physical copy, but only in Japan. I actually got my copy through Amazon, and it came from Korea. I have to wait a couple weeks, but was the wait worth it? Let's find out.
I am so sorry for everything that has happened. Because in spite of what Mike says now, it is my fault. Because it was my project. And it's all because of me that we're here now. Hungry and cold and hunted. I'm so scared. I'm gonna die out of here. I'm gonna die out of here. I'm gonna die out of here. I'm gonna die out of here.
Wow, not gonna lie, that's become one of my favorite collector's editions out there. I love the packaging job, I love the color scheme. It's great that it comes with the art book, but it's even better that it came with the soundtrack. Believe it or not, a lot of collector's editions out there now kind of skimp out of the soundtrack, which I think is kind of baffling. Like, the music for that game is very atmospheric and really well composed and super spooky, especially for this holiday season. It comes with the DLC code, which I didn't show, of course, because I don't want to show the code. But again, it's from Japan, so it might not be compatible with my system unless I make like a Japanese region account on the eShop or something like that. But I don't know. Then again, I don't know what else you can include in that game with a DLC. But yes, the packaging is beautiful and is a cool looking special edition. But how is the game itself? Well, I was a little afraid and hesitant into playing this game only because of the casual reviewers online that I heard of and read about, them complaining about the game, about the story, about the glitches, and that it was boring. Which I'm here to tell you personally, as a horror fan and a Blair Witch Project fan, I completely disagree. I thought the story was great. It was a better story than the last movie that came out a few years ago, and definitely superior to the stupid Book of Shadows we got in 2000. And the glitches weren't bad. They weren't game breaking. It just happened to me maybe twice. I don't even think twice. I think just once. And I just thought it was an overall great experience. Now, the plot that they were kind of bitching about is that they didn't like that about the whole war veteran story in the game, because you do play as a veteran named Alice who goes into the woods to find a missing boy named Peter, but you're going in there with your German Shepherd dog, which is a great companion in the game. He has this mechanic where you can actually praise him for helping you sniff out clues, scold him if he doesn't listen to you, feed him, just build your relationship with him. It reminds me a lot from Haunting Ground. Now the dog also can like growl and scout out where there's dark entities hiding within the woods, which is really awesome, and you can avoid them or fight them with your flashlight, almost like Alan Wake. Now the woods kind of mess with the main character of Alice, kind of messing with his PTSD, showing him visions of his past in the war and maybe things that he's done that he regrets, and just messing with his overall mentality. And I thought that was a great plot device. I don't understand why people hated that. If you watch the movies or kind of go into the lore of the Blair Witch, the woods is like a living entity that messes with people, makes them turn against each other, makes them go crazy. So of course, a veteran with a troubled past, it would really fuck him up. So I thought that was a great plot device that they used. And it's actually one of the best stories I heard compared to the other sequels that came out after the Blair Witch Project. So I don't understand why people were bitching about that. I thought it was really cool, and the way they showed it visually was beautiful and depressing. It was really awesome. Now there is another villain in the game. His name is Carver, or I think that's what his name is. I'm probably messed that up. But he's the one that you find out, not really a spoiler, that he's the one that kidnapped the boy or lured him into the woods. And then you find out more about this person that you're kind of trying to find and to save the boy. And of course, the woods themselves, you can kind of hear maybe the witch speaking through the atmosphere of the woods and kind of messing with you as well, but also kind of controlling this other villain. And it's a really cool, again, a very cool story, and I really like the gameplay of it because, of course, it plays in first person. A lot of games nowadays almost has like the walk-in simulator where you find clues, and there's nothing much to it. More like a horror show, like a haunted house. And this one, there is some fighting mechanics. Again, it's almost like Alan Wake. You have your flashlight, you have to flash it at the entities if you come across any, but you also have a video camera that also manipulates the surroundings of the woods. Any clues that you find in the camera, you can reverse, forward, whatever on the tapes. It manipulates the time or whatever of space in the woods, which I thought was a cool mechanic. They didn't go over the top with it, just enough of it to have a cool concept with it. And again, the game isn't long either. It's about 5 hours long. And of course, that's if you want to get the good ending, it might be just a slightly little longer. There's multiple endings in this game, which I'll get into right now. The first time I played through it, I got the bad ending. And to be honest, the good ending isn't even that good at all either. It's also really depressing. It's a bittersweet kind of ending. So again, no matter how you beat the game, you're gonna kind of have a depressing ending. Again, the good ending is very bittersweet. But again, it kind of fits with the whole Blair Witch universe, I guess, because really in this kind of atmosphere and location, it's like there's really no happy ending ever. Once you're in there, you're kind of screwed. So that's what's really cool about it and what I liked about it. On the Switch, though, the Switch version, I will say, not the prettiest looking game. It really looks like almost like a PS2 graphics kind of thing, which doesn't really bother me. But again, for those who do have a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One and they're curious because they have a Switch as well and they want to play it on there, I'm just telling you right now, if you want a better experience, then play it on your PS4. I don't have a PS4 yet, but if I did, I'll definitely try it on there as well. But since I have a Switch right now, I just wanted to play it. And on handheld, it looks good. I mean, again, there's some blur here and there, and the graphics isn't the prettiest, but the gameplay is solid. Again, the gameplay is very solid, and I enjoyed it. I don't understand, again, why people were complaining about the plot. I thought it was great. Again, it's really up to whoever is a fan of these kind of stories, or if you're a fan of the game. The fan of the movie, sorry. If you're a fan of the movie, you're going to love the game, I guess, in my opinion. But if you're not a big fan of the movie, you're probably going to want to skip on this one. But if not, just look it up. Again, I think it's a great game for the kind of time of season. I think it does its job well. It's not over the top scary. One of the best parts, when you go through the woods, is when you find the house from the original movie, and just going through it is great. It's beautiful. I love the way they modeled it, and it really messes with you. Again, without going to spoilers, they just did a good job with it, just messing with your mind mentally. And again, this is the same people who did Layers of Fear, which is one of those kind of like haunted house walking simulator kind of games where it just likes to mess with your psyche. So they did a good job with that. Another thing that people kind of bitched about in this game was them getting lost in the woods. I'm sorry, have you seen the movie? But overall, I enjoyed the game. I thought it was cool. If you have a more powerful system to play it on, like a PC or a PS4 or whatever, play it on there first. But if you only have a Switch, then try it on there. You can download it on the eShop. If you want to get a physical copy, it's not horribly expensive. You can find it online, but it might take a little while for it to get to you since it's in Japan or in any Asian culture or Asian country out there. So, I mean, good luck when you get it. But again, I enjoyed it, and I love the packaging of it. And yeah, stay tuned for my next video where I'm going to bring you my recommendations for other horror games to play this spooky season. Again, thank you for watching. Subscribe, do all that jazz, and hey, stay spooky.